this is something that's very, very special. This is a business opportunity that is quite literally like no other. And you are pretty much just being involved in this call, one of the earliest people to this business model. And we've had many students before, and I'm sure we'll have many students in the future, and all of which will continue to absolutely crush it. Over the next 3 days, what we're going to be doing is creating your own income stream using AI models. And this starts right now. For the next 3 days, what we're going to be doing is teaching you. You're going to be following us step by step, day by day. And we are actually going to be going over exactly how this business model works. So here's the process. The process is you start with an AI model. It doesn't actually have to be a girl, although we do recommend it to be a girl. It can be, a bloke, it can be a trans female, whatever. You start with a model. She can be attractive, she can be non-attractive if that's the kind of niche you want to go for. Anyway, we're going to go over more of that in the future. You put her on social media. Doesn't have to be Instagram, but Instagram's obviously the example presented here. And then we funnel them to a FanView page. Now, FanView is where we make our money. FanView is very similar to OnlyFans. And obviously on OnlyFans, you know that people sell explicit content, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the very basic funnel that we're going to go through. Now, of course, this is Pav's result here. So Pav in, as you can see, last 30-day results of this isn't the last 30 days, but last 30 days in June, hit his first 10K month. So some very, very impressive stuff there. And then in the next month, as you can see, almost, instantly a month later, he was able to scale that up to 16.5K in the last 30 days. So very impressive stuff again, and bang, 30K a month. So 30K in 30 days, $1,000 every single day. Pav hadn't even sold a single video yet. So this is just pure AI images, right? So the chances is you probably share a backstory similar to Pav's, as in you may have, experimented with online businesses in the past. You only really that only really led you to feeling stuck, feeling lost. You may have, fell into a couple scams, some nameful ones, Forex, massive scams in the Forex industry where people put signals out, which, aren't really signals, and the traders themselves actually make the money from the commission that they bring to the brokers. Very common scam. I'm sure that a lot of people fell into that trap. I myself, a few years back, fell into that trap. It's very, glamorized. You want to get into it, all that kind of stuff. You may have even tasted a little bit of success, but maybe not enough to transform your life. And as I just said, you may have been misled by these gurus online who basically just want to take your money without even giving any value at all. Myself, come from a military background. Nothing to dwell on too much, but I was in the army for a year. I thought I was going to do that for the rest of my life. And things just don't work out like that. I got medically discharged, all that kind of stuff. Felt lost, as you can see here. This was me going to a job interview. I believe it was for a sales job. Did get the job, by the way, obviously, because I'm a boss. Tried all these different online money-making methods, drop shipping, Amazon FBA, crypto, all this kind of shit that you see spewed everywhere online, these methods that you may have tried yourself, you may have failed them, and people glamorize them so much. All these guys out in Dubai, driving Lambos, flexing their big apartments out in Dubai. Will say, yeah, get into Amazon FBA. Realistically, they probably don't even touch Amazon FBA, right? Because it doesn't fucking work unless you have a lot of money behind you already. Now, a little story about Amazon FBA actually. Soon after I came out of the army, I was obviously looking for something to, achieve further because there was absolutely no chance I was working a 9 to 5 for, the next fucking 50 years of my life. Not happening. Was not going to do it. Anyway, come across a few little glamorous TikToks, a few YouTube videos on Amazon FBA. I thought this sounds absolutely fucking brilliant. If you don't know what Amazon FBA is, Essentially, you buy stock, you can list them on Amazon, and Amazon will ship it out for you. They'll literally fulfill the whole process for you. So you can buy some stock, and what they'll do with it, they'll you obviously ship it to their warehouse, and they will list it on Amazon and ship it out to customers that buy it. So you all you have to do is give them stock to sell, essentially. So it sounds like this fucking brilliant business model. Realistically, you pay stupid margins, and there's too many competitors, on the market already. So, little story. I basically had saved up a very little amount, to be honest, from the army, but I spent basically my whole savings on stock for Amazon FBA. There's a little video out somewhere online of me with my stock. Just got delivered to my house. And yeah, basically, I think it was phone chargers or some shit like that. Anyway, load of phone chargers. I spent fucking thousands on it. Come to my house, I was gassed. Labeled every single one of them because you do have to do that. You have to label windows visually. It was, yeah, jarring. Shipped it off to Amazon, all good stuff. Literally, not even a week later, I was making sales, by the way. I thought I was balling. I was like making money online. I thought it was fucking genius. Making very decent profits. Basically, what happened? One of the bigger competitors on the website demanded that Amazon delete my listing because it was too similar to theirs. And of course, they make Amazon millions a year. So I was basically booted off the website. My stock was destroyed. I haven't actually heard anything since. So, little story. I also failed many businesses before this one. And of course, all of that led to myself and Toby discovering OFM, OnlyFans management. So with OFM, of course, you get, decent money. Well, you can get decent money anyway. It's a fucking pain in the ass. Working with models is an absolute headache. But if you don't know what OFM is, essentially, you will manage OnlyFans models. You will manage their socials, gain them followers, funnel them to an OnlyFans page. Sound familiar? Probably because I just explained that at the start. That's essentially what we do here, but without, having a model. So models, unmotivated, entitled, definitely lack work ethic. Like that is one thing that you will find instantly when you jump into that kind of industry. And of course, if content is not going to be produced on time, you suffer as the business. These girls, they're making enough to survive. They're making enough for it to, basically swap out a job. That's the reason why most of them do it. They're probably lazy. They probably don't want a job. So taking a few pictures a week sounds like a no-brainer. But as soon as it comes to scaling, they don't really care. Let's be honest. They're happy. They're not at a job. That's what they want. So most models will basically only produce content for about 6 months and then they'll lose interest. Here we have an AI female and many AI females, believe it or not. Now, you may be on first glance, you might have thought, wow, stunning. However, yes, these are all AI. Of course, with AI, you can't put them on OnlyFans. Now, not sure why they haven't updated this yet, but either way, OnlyFans does not allow AI creators. For whatever reason that is, not sure, but we tried it many, many times. I'm sure there's, one or two on the market, whatever. But AI creators in general are not allowed on OnlyFans. You get straight away banned, don't even bother. FanView, however, allow AI models, which is great. As soon as we discovered FanView, which was probably just over a year ago, before we were just struggling on OnlyFans, getting banned every few weeks. But on FanView, they allow AI creators, and I believe they take a lower cut than FanView do anyway. So here we have three sets of results. So these are all AI, by the way, achieved with AI and with fellow partnerships in the industry. So 57K, these are monthly, just so you're aware. 57K in a month, 64K in a month, and 58K in a month. Now these numbers sound absolutely fucking mental, and they are, let's be honest. But oh, I just fucked that up. Yeah, these numbers, they are fucking mental. Like people probably don't even earn that in 2 years' time. Like that. These are crazy numbers that these AI models are earning, and it just shows the potential. Most real, OnlyFans creators and people of the like will never touch these numbers. Maybe in a year, maybe they'll earn 60K in a year, sure. But monthly, these are crazy numbers. So, of course, the beauty with AI models is that we don't have to pay them. The massive, massive part of business is, of course, that exchange. So OFM, of course, you're paying the model probably 50%. Sure, it's their body, it's their OnlyFans account, whatever. Fair enough. There's definitely justifications for that. However, it's not ideal when you also have to cover marketing costs, hiring staff, paying for your chatting team and your sales team on the back end. So basically removing that whole 50% will leave you with almost 100%. If you're spending nothing on marketing and very little on AI generation, then you will be taking home 100% of whatever you make with AI models, which is complete opposite with, OnlyFans models. Of course, you don't need to motivate them either. You only have yourself to blame. This is what I love about AI models is that when someone will, complain that they're not having success with it, it's completely their own fault. You have to be completely self-accountable. There's no model to blame. The model's not taking pictures, whatever. You are the one that's making the pictures. You're the one that's posting on social media. You're the one that is doing the chatting or hiring people to chat for you on FanView on the back end. So you don't need to motivate these AI models because they don't exist. Um, but that's huge. That's a massive part of, keeping this business successful and what makes it so scalable. And of course, we've had complete control over all the content. So again, not that you'd want to cross boundaries like this with OnlyFans models, but let's just say, for example, you were working with a OF creator, um, and she wasn't comfortable doing a certain type of content. Of course, that's absolutely fine. Whatever, you can't fucking control that. However, that could stop you from scaling, or a certain customer maybe requesting that content and wanting to pay a lot of money for it, and you can't do anything about that. But with AI, of course, you have full control over the content, not just the nature of it, but also location, kind of how much is actually created, so the volume of content as well. You have full control over pretty much everything, and this is where Imagine Education come in. So basically established in February last year, had many, many students since then, and will continue to be successful for the foreseeable future as AI propels itself to the next level. So, the moment you've all been waiting for, we're going to jump into the actual lesson part now. So, grab a pen, paper, or just fucking write on your laptop, whatever, or, just wait for the call recording to come out and fucking watch it again. Doesn't bother me. But basically, what we're going to do now is create a brand new AI model before your eyes so that you can literally replicate exactly what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be using a platform called Fal.ai, I believe, but this is where Toby comes in. So we're going to actually jump into that now.
This is a great platform for creating AI content. Now, there's different methods of creating AI content. You can use Stable Diffusion, you can use like comfy.ui, or you can use very basic content generators. We're going to be going over the basic content generators, mainly because if I was to go over Fal.ai, now if I was to go over Comfy or Stable Diffusion, we're most likely going to be here for the next 10 hours, and we'll probably only get past the first initial stages of education. Most of our mentorship students normally take about 2 to 3 weeks to learn Comfy or Stable Diffusion. However, with Fal.ai, anyone can do it. You can start right now. So coming into this industry, you normally have two different mindsets. You normally have a business mindset or a designer mindset. The designer mindset is mainly based towards someone who wants a specialist skill in AI content creation. They want to be the experts, they want to progress and potentially do loads of other things in the future when it comes to like custom clothings for other companies, like clothing companies or something like that, or even just replace photographers. That's kind of the designer specialist role. We're going to be going over more of the business role. So if you come into this as if it was a business and you want to create content that's high quality, but you want to create it quite quickly, this is how you would do it. The benefits of this, and the reason why me and Kyle normally aim to do this route if we ever do dabble in AI creation, is because we want to focus on marketing and management. Marketing, because this is where you're going to get your fans. You could have a pretty shit AI model, but you can still market them correctly and get people to convert. Like, not to slate any models, but in the early days of AI, I think it was Emily Pellegrini, obviously wasn't the best looking model. AI wasn't that advanced at the time, but I'm sure you've heard of her. She was making quite a bit of money. I'm not sure on the exact figures, but it was definitely over 10K a month. So that AI model wasn't amazing, and we can make models 10 times that quality nowadays. So going into it from a business perspective, allow you to focus on marketing, get the audience in, get money, and then obviously the management. And this is more of like the chatting, the sales, and the fan view accounts that you're going to be using to be able to get money off these customers in the most effective way. Because one customer may convert across your page, great, you might be able to get $10 out of them. But if you're coming at it from a business perspective, you're going to be focusing and improving that sales daily. So instead of getting $10 out of that guy, you may get $400 out of that guy. And then obviously there's a massive increase. So coming from a business perspective, I always prefer, Kyle prefers it. And this is what we're going to teach you in this lesson. So let's get into it. Fal.ai. Like I said, it's literally prompt generation. There's a few different types of Fal.ai. So it uses an AI generator called Flux, or an AI model. So I've used the incorrect terminology if some of you are proper nerds. But an AI generator called Flux. This came out around summertime, I think about September, if I remember correctly. And it pretty much revolutionized the space. It upgraded it to the next notch. Flux is a very good generator. It gives hands, very accurate face, and it also listens to prompts that are very basic, similar to this style of prompt. Some AI generators require you to do very long, complicated prompts with, brackets and putting like ratios on how strong you want the LoRa's and stuff like that. Does my brain in. I hate it. Whereas this Fal.ai, you can literally type in a prompt into ChatGPT, describing prompts, and model sitting at a cafe, give you a prompt, and you can chuck it in a generator. So what one are we using? Most of the time, you would start off on Flux Dev. The reason for this is because it's just going to create a basic AI model, very easy. So we'll load that up now. And then once you've got your model, you'll be using Flux LoRa, which we'll cover in a bit. And we'll go over a little bit about LoRa's. I'm not going to teach you how to do them because once again, it's going to be a way too long lesson, but I'll cover just what a LoRa is and how is it going to improve consistency. So firstly, you come on the platform. This is what it looks like. Try to get rid of that. This is what it would look like. If you wanted to train a LoRa, there's a little button up here. You can fast train a LoRa. It takes like 10 minutes. But most of the time, you'll come to a screen that looks like this. Not very complicated, fairly simple. And I'm going to talk through all these instructions now. So if I click generate, it's going to generate what's in this prompt here. So a tiger's eye with the words flux over the top of it. And that will be created now. There we go. Pretty cool. Obviously, we didn't adjust any of the settings to optimize realism, but as you can see, it's already fairly advanced. So if any of you are graphic designers or anything like that as well, you have a business, you want to create a logo, blah, 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 this is a brilliant software as well. But we're going to be focusing on AI model creation. So firstly, I'd highly recommend you change this setting here. Now, this is when you want square HD, but if you just want a general image, I'd normally aim for portrait 3 to 4, just because it improves the quality a little bit. Sweet. Numbers of steps. Now, I could explain to you what this is, but it's pretty boring. Normally, what I'd recommend doing is keeping it around 42 to 48. Around that bracket is going to give you the best images for models. So if you want a very high detailed picture of the face, normally I'd put it about 48. However, if you want a quite detailed image of the model sitting down at a cafe with a bit more diversity in her position, then I'll bring it to about 42. If you have it at like 48, the quality is going to be slightly higher. However, it's going to be a lot stricter on what it's going to allow the model to do. So if you want the model like sitting cross-legged, it may not do that with 48. But if you do it to like 42, it's going to be a lot easier to get an image of that quality. Seed we'll cover in a minute. I'm sure you know what a seed is. Very common, pretty much on every AI platform. CFG level. Now we want to have this around 2 to normally 4, but I can show you what that does in a minute. We get the prompts on. The reason we have it there is because it's going to optimize realism. If we have it up here, it's going to create a picture of the model. It's going to look very cartoon-like, very plastic. If we have it at like 1, it's going to look like it was taken on a Nokia brick from 2005. So we kind of want it around the 3 mark, and that's going to work best. And then obviously it's just numbers of image and safety checker. Now, for some people that love to dabble with APIs and stuff like that, what you can do is take this Fal.ai API. I'm pretty sure they do it at the bottom somewhere. Um, anyway, they do it on this platform. Take the API, put it onto something like Postman or another platform, and you can simply remove this safety checker, which is pretty good. On this platform, you can't, but other platforms you can. One thing with that, this platform, Fal.ai, does not do nude content. Now, you may be thinking that's pretty useless. You're going to want new content, etc. Most of the time, what you can do is take it onto other platforms, which I'm obviously not going to cover now, and be able to get nude content from the content that you make here to be able to convert it into nude content. So that's normally the best plan of action because nude Flux isn't good. Flux wasn't designed for naked models as such. So it's not going to be able to create a very detailed image of that model, not safe for work. So if you are going to be using Flux or Fal.ai, it's mainly going to be for marketing and it's mainly going to be for basic images that you want to create, which is absolutely fine because probably about 70% of the images, maybe 80% of the images you're going to be creating can be done on this platform, which is obviously very, very good. So let's get into it. I've created a prompt here already. This is where I'm going to get my prompts. I can easily just type it in, let's go. Everyone loves a Bond model. I'll just bang that in. We'll see what it generates. But most of the time, what you want to do is describe in prompts model works sitting at a cafe or something like that. Describe in prompts model at the gym. And you can even go into a bit more detail. So let's say model at the cafe. Let's do white floor. Let's have a blonde. Let's what else? Eating. Actually, nah. Eating's normally an annoying one. Let's say public area. You can generate another prompt for us, which has that all included. Let's do the first one whilst that generates, and we'll get into it. So by simply just typing in blonde model, it's come up with this image, which was pretty good. If I zoom in a little bit more, oh, maybe not. As you can see, the quality is very good. Let's bring it into another page here. All right, look at the quality there. It's pretty impressive, isn't it? And that was 100% AI. This is not a real person for any of you that are asking. This is an AI model. So pretty sick, better than Gemfluence straight off the bat, which was another prompt generation platform, but not quite as good as Stable Diffusion. So that's just simply typing in blonde model. If we type in, let's say this model sitting at a cafe, blah, 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 and we generate that, this is going to create a more detailed image. Now, the model is not going to be the same because we don't have a LoRa connected, but once it generates, slightly better there. As we can see, it's a little bit cartoon-like in this one. And now this is where the CFG level comes in. If I bang that up to 12 and let's generate something, you'll see what I mean by cartoon looking. It's very plastic looking, but that's not even too bad. But if we go take it into another document here, zoom in, it's very plastic. It doesn't look that real. Obviously, not too bad. It can be used. It's usable for marketing, but you'll prefer it probably at a lower level, say 2.5. Let's run it there and see what it comes up with. As you can see there, it looks slightly more realistic because the quality's not lower, but it doesn't look quite as HD. So it looks like it was taken with an actual camera. So if we zoom in there, it looks more realistic, more lifelike. As you see, the hand, it does look a little bit mutated. You can edit that on post-production. Not every image is going to be perfect. AI is a big probability game, but That's kind of the beauty of the designing section or designing stage. You're going to have to trial and error, try get the best prompts, try get the best settings, etc. Now I've just turned these number of steps up to 47. And as we can see, it looks a little bit better quality. And if we look at that one again and zoom in, looks pretty realistic to me. So that's just basic AI creation. Put your prompt in, get that on the output. And you can come in here and try multiple different prompts. So this one is now white floor, blonde hair, public area. So let's try this one out. Put it in. So because it's in a public area, I want a bit more diversity with the image. So I'm gonna bring that down to about 40, let's go 45. And then on that CFG level to about 3 because I want a bit of diversity in the image as well and a bit of quality. That'll generate and we'll get the model. Sweet. So pretty basic, cafe, white floor, as we kind of wanted in the prompts, blonde model, public area, simple. Now let's go on to training a LoRa and going into getting a consistent face. So a lot of the time what you would want to do is to get a consistent face to start off with is going to be very hard. So what you want to do is get a very long, accurate prompt describing the model's face. Then what you're going to be able to do is generate that face and you're going to go across to requests. You're going to click these three dots here and it's going to come up with basically the input and the output. If you go to the output, it's going to say the seed. You can take the seed and that is specific to that image. So it's not amazing because right now this image is obviously very far away from her face. It's got lots of diversity, etc. But if we've done a close up, so um, wow, so we give her, yeah, we'll just go with that for now. We'll get this prompt, we'll put it in, and we'll get a more accurate face, and then we'll go into trying to create consistency. So start off with this, see what we get. But once again, it is a probability game. So if you don't get the model first try, you put in a prompt and it's like, oh, that's not what I wanted. Just keep trying because each time I generate, even if the prompt's the same, it's going to have different diversity within the image. So let's go with this face here. Pretty easy, pretty accurate. We could probably go with a bit longer one, but that's fine. So let's go across to requests. Let's go on to the output here, which is the face. We'll take this seed and then we'll apply it to the little playground area here. Now, if we generate this image again, we should be able to get a face, which isn't going to be identical, admittedly, but it'll be very similar. So let's go, let's bang that one in. We'll do both. So let's generate that first, and then we'll bang the new one in. Sorry if I'm bouncing around pretty quickly. Obviously, I'm trying to go slow, but, you know, force of habit. So obviously that generated the same thing because the seed was the same. Now I've just put the slightly longer prompt in there. I'm going to generate again, keeping the settings all the same. And hopefully, if it comes out correctly and the AI likes me today, it should be a fairly similar face. There we are. Like I said, not identical, but it is fairly similar. Freckles, the eyes, the head position. So it's not too bad. Let's go on requests and compare the two. But you may be thinking, how do we get more consistency out of these models? Because realistically, you want the exact same face every single time. So that was obviously the first model, and that was the second model. Not identical, but fairly similar. So once you've done a few of them, you can get a very consistent face, and then you can train a LoRa. So let's go into a LoRa. If we go back to this, we were using Flux Dev. Now we're going to use Flux LoRa. We're going to load this up, and we're going to play around on this platform. So I'm going to attach a LoRa that I've created previously. When it comes to creating a LoRa, what you want to do is get a few faces that are very, very similar, put them into the AI, and it's basically going to train a section of the AI on that specific model's face. So what that means is if you have that attached here, you know, model one, let's say, Right. Then that Laura of model one is always going to be attached. So therefore, face is going to be very similar to the AI that you've just trained. Yeah, starting to get a little bit confusing. So this is where we're going to attach Laura and I'll show you a bit of consistency. So I've got two up here, made them pretty small, to be fair. They're not brilliant ones, but let's bang out a picture of Kyle. But he's going to appreciate this. Um, just do that again, basic. Now this AI was trained in about, a few minutes, so it's not going to be amazing. But if you spend a bit of time creating Laura's, then it's going to be better quality. You can do it 2 or 3 times. Just make sure you get it correctly done, and then it's obviously going to be pretty good. But I've attached the Laura here and generate an image, and it comes out of Kyle. Now, once again, his head looks a little bit big, but as you can see, the face is, well, it is Kyle when he had hair. So that's how you get consistency of face. We could do something, Kyle. Let's do. That you're pretty happy with this, mate. I didn't tell you that I was going to be generating your face. I'll use a model in a minute, and we'll go into how to get a bit more advanced creation for that. Okay, okay. Maybe I should have put a longer prompt in, but yeah, pretty much you can create the same images. As you can see, his little Kyle there looks like a kid flying through the sky. Um, let's go into the models and let's do it a bit more seriously. So let's attach a model's path. Now this was a model called Grace. The Laura, once again, was made in about 30 seconds. So it's not extremely accurate, but we're going to go over how you would use it. Then we would come into ChatGPT or even Pinterest. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get a prompt based on an image. So for example, I'm going to go on Pinterest and type in what I want. So blonde model sitting at a cafe. I'm going to load that up. Let's say I like this one here. I'm going to save that image. You know what? That was a fucking bad idea. Right. Let me stop sharing quickly because there's going to be loads of tips. Hang about. Let me download that and chuck that into ChatGPT. Just so this recording then can be reused. All right, let me start sharing screen again. Sorry if any of you are at like a cafe or something and just an arse just popped up on your screen. I do apologize, but I'm sure you're fine. Um, describing prompts, bang. So what I've just done, pretty simple. Don't really need much of an explanation. I liked this image here. I want to replicate this image. So I've gone onto Pinterest, obviously save that image, put it into ChatGPT, and click describe the prompt. Now, obviously, this prompt is very similar. Black blazer, hand resting on her head, blah, blah, blah. I then want to go put that into this software, make sure the settings are all correct. I probably want a bit of diversity, and I can't remember what Laura settings I have on this one, but let's generate. And it should be able to create Grace's face on this model sitting here. If you've got a pretty bad trained Laura, then the images aren't going to be very good. If the quality of your images that you've put into the Laura are very low, then the quality that you're going to create on the output is going to be very low. So this is where Laura training is very, very important. And if done incorrectly, can lead to a bad output. But as we can see there, that image was pretty much replicated, but with this model's face. So pretty good there. Let's go try another one. So I want to change this image. Let's say in a green dress. Generate that, and we'll see what comes out. But as you can see, quality is pretty good, especially for just basic prompt generation. And most of the images as well will need a little bit of post-production editing. So I can go over a bit of that in a minute if we have some time. I'm not sure how much of the lesson Kyle has left, but we'll have a look. So she should be sitting in a green dress now. Let's generate that and have a look. What else should we do? Um, so standing up, next one. There we are. So same model, green dress, same environment, same face, pretty good. That was the model the first time, leaning forward. This is the model on the second time, leaning back. So as you can see, this is how you get consistent models, consistent faces. You can get some diversity in the images here. And I'll play around with the settings a little bit more just to show some stuff. But let's do standing behind the bar. Now, because she's standing behind the bar, I might increase that a little bit. And let's see what goes on. Because she's obviously standing further away from the camera now, I'm going to want to increase the quality a little bit. So because her face is far away, if the CFG level was like 2, her face would be very blurred and pixelated. But I've increased the quality so that her face is not too bad. I'll show you an example. If I bring that down to 1, get that on the side. I'll bring that down to 1 and then generate. Her face is going to be very pixelated. It's not going to be very good. You can generate multiple images at a time, by the way, at the bottom here. Or maybe I'll do it in a minute. So as you can see, the face is pretty pixelated, like I said, because the CFG level is low. But if we had it at like 17, I don't even know if this is going to do. It's probably going to make it an animated figure, but yeah. There we are. Very cartoon-like and very animated. So once again, it's still not too bad. Pretty good consistency, but you want it around the 2.5 to 3.5 is probably your best bet. So we've got these images, great. We can always upscale them. We can always do a bit of post-production editing. But most of the time, that's going to be pretty good to go for Instagram, for fan view, for pretty much anything. It's a good enough quality that you can market it. If it was like a Genfluence style image, then you're going to struggle to market because it's not going to look very realistic. And you want to improve the customer's experience. So improving realism is always pretty good. So that's pretty much it on my end. I don't know if you have any questions. We can go over a few near the end if you want, but that's pretty much how you'll be using Fal.ai to create a consistent face and a consistent AI model. As you can see, we've created quite a few images. The face is pretty much the same every single time. If it is a little bit different, you can always bring it into platforms like FaceApp, Facetune, Photoshop, and you can edit them all. For example, the hand there, if I wanted to edit that, I could easily take that into Photoshop and just generate another hand. The obviously initial image here that we made, there was like a finger or two missing. And obviously this was the one that was extremely AI, but there's a finger or two missing. Now, this image isn't completely destroyed. Like that is not the end of that. We can just bring it across to Photoshop and generate a hand. Like it may take a few attempts again because it's AI, but you can literally just click generate on the selected area that you want, and it will just continue to generate a hand. Pretty helpful. So whilst you guys are obviously sign up to FanView, here's just a little tip here. Photoshop's pretty good, maybe a bit expensive, but there's other apps out there that you can use. And simple, just got a hand, sorted. And what you can also do on Photoshop is add grain to help with realism. So normally you'll go to filter gallery. It would come up and then you can select the grain level here. So normally you want it about 7. And this thing's well annoying. And then adds a bit of grain to the image. So you simply just click OK. And it adds a little bit of texture to the image. And if you were going to edit it a little bit more, maybe sharpen the face up a bit. But just little small improvements that you can do to improve the quality of the images. Once again, a very quick small tutorial there, but just a few little tips and tricks from kind of the inside or from experience that may be able to help you there.
Little recap, what you're going to do is do a little research and find inspiration for your model's appearance. We didn't really cover this, but you do want to do research. So whether that's going on Instagram, whether you have like your favorite fucking Instagram model that you want to jerk off to, whatever. If you're doing research on certain models that you have interest in, all this kind of stuff, that's going to help you out massively, believe it or not, because you're going to understand more about the market. You're going to understand, poses that they take their pictures with, kind of how they captions they use, how they engage with their fans, all that kind of stuff can be super useful to do research beforehand and before actually jumping into the creation process. So number two, head to Fal.ai. Free, use text prompts to create content. And then, of course, you can use images to create videos on Kling, which is separate, completely separate subject. But Kling is basically AI video software, which we can use to create videos on. So everyone spends hours scrolling on social media, absorbing content without a second thought. And you have likely never considered that the individuals behind the post do this for a reason. You see influencers mucking about, and you kind of maybe even like those stupid ones that you're like, why do they do this stupid shit? But realistically, they do it for a reason. And that reason is to gain attention and, of course, monetize that content. Like these idiots that jump around online, like I can't even think of an example. Maybe like Aiden Ross, massive one of the biggest streamers in the world, whatever, acts like an absolute idiot, but it's all an act to gain your attention, and so they can monetize their audience. And of course, in today's world, attention is the most valuable currency. We do live in an attention economy. And the best place to capture that is social media, of course. People all around the world are capitalizing on this opportunity. You have random guys, like some random kiddie who come out of the Brazilian favelas making football videos on TikTok, millions of fucking followers. Like the power of social media and attention that that has on the world now is crazy. And you would be absolutely silly not to do the same. So we've just presented you with the simplest first step. So you're not going to want to miss out on this business opportunity. Now, this is going to be obviously essential. Number one, which is actually not mentioned, is make that FanView account because that's going to be essential for the next lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to go over FanView account creation, how to set up your account, all that kind of stuff. So you're going to want to have that set up and your account made. Don't worry about, what kind of profile pictures you're going to use. We're going to cover that in the next lesson. Now, you're going to want to design and create your model and produce a batch of images and videos. Maybe not videos, but images for sure. We will be moving on, sorry, to step two tomorrow. So you don't want to, get fucking left behind. We want you to do this process with us, ask questions along the way, and we can obviously help you with that process. And of course, after today's call, you're going to want to get this completed. So all we want you to do is basically sign up to FanView and design and create your model and create a few fucking pictures so that you're ready to jump on social media, start posting. And if you are here, it's obviously for a reason, right? You want to change your life. You spent, almost an hour now watching us on this webinar. You clearly want to be here, and we obviously appreciate that you want to be here. So anyone who is willing to take advice and willing to be helped, we're willing to help. It's very much as simple as that. And if you can't be bothered to get this completed before tomorrow's call, there's not, too much hope for you. Let's be honest. You need to seize opportunities when they come to you. And if you get left behind, we won't be, answering fucking random questions tomorrow about how you get signed up on Fal.ai because we've already covered it, right? So do this today, ask questions today on this subject so you know that you're good to go and seize the opportunity. Once again, welcome to day two of the 3-day AI model challenge. Now, how to gain attention on Instagram. Get ready to take notes on your laptop, fucking grab a pen and paper, whatever you got, or again, fucking wait for the call recording to go out. I don't care, but that may be a few days. Cool. So, content is obviously key. Now, yesterday we went over content, specifically how to get your AI model started, how to make content, how to make good looking content, more importantly. So if your model isn't fit, why would people sub? Now, fit is kind of a UK term for good looking. If your model's not good looking, why would people sub? There are some weird looking ones that do get subs. Can't name any off the top of my head. However, some people are into weird shit. Don't get me wrong, but that's a very niche, number of people that we're probably not going to be able to hit. Let's be honest. 2001 camera quality is not good. So obviously meaning, those shitty digital cameras that you used to get back in the day, not great for content, not a great quality of content. And also ultra 4K, super cameras aren't great either. And you're probably thinking why? Mostly because it seems very professional, or too good to be true. So most people like amateur content. That's why they go to platforms like OnlyFans, like FanView, like all of these things. And the fact that you have, like a camera crew or these professional setup cameras is not good. People prefer it when a model has their phone in their hand and they're taking pictures of their tits in the mirror. And that's just the absolute truth. So content is key. Not too bad, not too good. Now that sounds weird, but there's a different type of good, and that is the type of good that we're going to go over right now. So this model here, not to name any names or anything like this, but this model, I believe, has 2 to 300,000 followers on Instagram, fully AI, of course. Now, what you will notice about this model is the obvious. I don't have to point it out. So that is obviously not a realistic feature. So it doesn't have to be, the most realistic content, but what you see here is a variety of different types of images that are taken. So what we can see here is, if you can see my mouse, if not, I'm pointing at the purple lingerie on the right here. What you can see here is a wide angle shot. She's taking a full body. She could have set her phone up, set up a timer, and took that herself. And it's taken at home, which is quite key. A lot of people taking pictures at the beach, or even this one on the balcony up here, where you can't even see her face and just see her massive tits. These are someone's taken that picture. So it's going to make the fans think she must have a boyfriend or a camera crew or something like this. It's not very homegrown. It's not very appealing to our customer base. Now, of course, if you look at ones like, let me think what one's perfect. The bottom left one of the right, yeah. If you can see my mouse, I'm hovering over it. It's more of a selfie style. She's taken that with a phone in her hand, like this, clearly. You can see by the photo that she's actually taken that picture herself. So it's more organic, it's more homegrown, and getting a variety of content is key. Now, again, this isn't the most realistic or best content in the world. In fact, it's very unrealistic when you obviously look at the obvious about the account. But again, it just reiterates the fact that models like these can go extremely viral. People are still interested in them. And I know for a fact this model makes a lot of money. Again, some more examples here. Very natural. She probably has taken these herself. They're all at home. They all have plainish backgrounds. Nothing mad going on in the background. It's not at some fucking beach or, in the snow somewhere, making the most extravagant background you can. It's very natural, homegrown content, which is good. Now, this is what I mean by, for one, a 2001 camera on the left, of course, and on the right, we have our ultra 4K HD fucking camera crew pointing at this poor girl's face. On the left, it's too blurry. It looks shit. The hands are fucked up. The content's just not great, right? You can obviously see with your eyes that it's not amazing content. It's not the best quality. It's blurry. Everything about it, I don't like it. This one on the right also. Now, if you're going for like a passport fucking photograph, sound, go for that. But one, not sure why you would be going for that kind of style unless you are making her a passport, which would be weird. And two, not necessary. This is way too high quality. It's clearly taken by a photographer or a very high level camera, right? If it was real. Of course, it's AI generated, right? Obviously. But if it was real, it's clearly taken by some Ultra HD camera, which again raises red flags, raises all this kind of bollocks with customers. So, some general rules for marketing. Marketing actually changes all the time in terms of not only just decade by decade the way that people's brains change. For example, nowadays TikTok's exploding, all this short form content shit. No one can pay attention to something for more than 5 seconds. So that's changed marketing massively, but also in terms of the actual platforms themselves. So Instagram in general is the main focus for our general marketing. That's a good base. It's a good platform to kind of base your marketing on. So, general rules of marketing in the current age. Start slow, number one, absolutely key. Few reasons for this. Number one, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You probably don't have that amount of content ready yet anyway. And also start slow because most social media platforms will flag you if you fucking start posting 5 things a day. Not necessary. Definitely, yeah, just not necessary. And you'll just absolutely fuck your accounts up, to be honest. So start slow. There's reasons for this. I'm going to go over them very soon. Number two, stay consistent. Absolutely key. Once again, to keep your fan base engaged and to please the social media platforms. Two absolutely key factors. Social media platforms will reward consistency, not some super fast, 10 images a day on Instagram, not necessary. But, 1 to 3 a day on Instagram is called staying consistent, and that is what you get rewarded for. Number three, check for errors. Now, some errors can be on purpose. I don't want to overcomplicate things, but for example, some of the most viral short form content pieces that our team have done have included some obvious spelling mistakes or something like this, to kind of add to the persona or add to the stupidity of the reel that we're posting. However, in general and as a general rule, check for errors and you don't want them there. If you're not the best with grammar, if you're not native English and English is a second language of yours, definitely check for errors. They annoy people, they annoy me, and I know I'm not the only one. So check for errors in spelling, in pictures as well, like if you've got fingers missing, things like that. Everything should be not perfect, but certainly on its way to being perfect. So the actual strategy that you should be implementing for Instagram marketing. Now, what we're going to do is show you almost like a template account. So the model is called Grace. You can refer back to her account if you're unsure what to aim for in terms of quality of images, the content posted, the kind of consistency on there. It's not active anymore, but I'm going to go over that in a second, and also just in general what to aim for. So this is the template account. A few things that I would change about this now because this is quite old. Long story short, we ditched this account a while ago. We had a few bans on social medias and on the spicy pages themselves, so ditched it. Anyway, it's got a good layout. It's got good content. If you want to, definitely don't steal the content because you're not having my model. But this is a general like good account. If you want to note that username down, this is a good template to kind of follow. Cool. So let's go over profile picture. Now, in a general rule, there are some exceptions. Again, there's exceptions for everything, whatever. But as a general rule, top of the head to halfway down the torso is perfect. Showing the whole body, whole body shot. It's kind of hard to see her defining features, a very obvious two defining features you can see in the fucking picture. Obviously, that is what will attract our target audience, of course. So keep that very obvious and in mind. Showing cleavage, just went over that. You're gonna insinuate provocativeness in your model, and people just scrolling through Instagram will click on the profile picture because they know that they're going to get some sort of spicy content either on the page itself, they're probably going to be hoping for, or some link to it, right? So people love sexual things, especially the target audience that we're going for. Nice aesthetic background. It doesn't have to be like a tropical beach or a Lamborghini, but of course it has to look realistic and nice enough. So it could be a clean bedroom, it could even be like a bathroom or something like this, something very natural. But remember, it's important to have an aesthetic background to your pictures. Bio. So this is again a generalized rule, a generalized template that you can follow. You can get creative, you can mention, other external things, but definitely what I would definitely say is do not go overkill. Your bio does not need to be 3 paragraphs about where your model grew up and what she does on the weekends. Absolutely not. Stay away from any of that shit. Keep it very simple is the most important thing. So in your first line. Now, these are important for the first line because it gets the key information out of the way. So, age and location. So you can get as specific with location as you like. It kind of depends. So let's say you put just a USA flag or you said USA. That could obviously open the minds of people from the USA to think they're going to meet this girl. But there's no specific location. If you really wanted to target some degenerate places, I don't know, LA, for example, you could base your model in LA and then fucking weirdos from LA will obviously think they're going to meet your model and all this, see her down the shops, whatever. It plays into the fantasy. So you can be specific, you can not be specific because obviously if your model is in LA and someone else is in New York, that's opposite sides of the country. You're probably not going to attract anyone from New York because it's going to ruin their hopes of meeting this model, blah, blah, blah. So be careful when you lay out this stuff. As well as that, with age, don't pick a boring age. What I mean is guys are either interested in young girls in general, young girls or MILFs. So what I mean is 18 to 21, probably. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can have successful 25-year-old models, blah, blah, blah. But general rule, 18 to 21 is young. It's younger than most guys that you're going to see on these platforms, and it plays into their fantasies perfectly. Or 35 plus. It's kind of that MILF stage where guys who aren't maybe as creepy, I want to say. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with liking younger females, but guys who like chicks their age, or maybe younger guys who are into older chicks, it plays into their kind of fantasy. Whereas no one's fantasizing about 27 to 28-year-olds. It's just, yeah, it's weird. Line two, just a little phrase. This could be, I don't know, this could even be like a hobby or something like this. But this example obviously says your fave blonde cutie. Just a fucking cute phrase to describe the model. Gives a bit of personality as well, of course, and that is insinuated once more with these emojis here, the little cute face and the arrow down. Um, Cute call to action. This can be demanding if you want your model to be more of a dominatrix, more of a dominant model, and you can demand blokes money. Quite a fun task. But yeah, obviously make this your own stuff. But this example is let's be friends. This is a call to action to make people look downwards. Now, the reason a downwards finger is very important to this target audience is because they're extremely stupid. If you don't show them exactly where the links are, and if your link in bio is too complex, they won't go through. They just won't. They won't be able to figure it out. Their brains can't comprehend if they don't have an arrow telling them where to go. So that's extremely important. And just a phrase like let's be friends or talk here or spicy content here, maybe that's a bit on the edge and Instagram might be a bit funny, but just some examples of what you could implement. Pin post. Now, not 100% essential, but if you have some very good performing posts on your feed, you want to keep them at the top of the page. There's reasons that they are performing well. So, for example, this model here has obviously pinned these three posts. They are the highest performing posts on those pages. So there's reasons for this, of course. Now, this either caught the eye of the customer, it was extra provocative, it kind of edged on the lines of Instagram's guidelines, all that kind of stuff. There's many reasons why pictures may do better than others, but the key thing is that there is reasons for that. So unless it's just a random algorithm glitch or glitch in the matrix, whatever you want to call it, there's reasons why those posts are there. So pin them so then you get extra attention on those posts, and obviously extra attention because they are your best posts and they're going to be at the top of the feed. Hook view is in, blah blah blah. To pin a post, all you do is just click the three dots and click pin. Not too complex. Story highlights. I see this overlooked all the time. So maybe not whenever you post a story, but especially when you're starting out, whenever you do post a story, add it to a highlight, or I recommend adding it to a highlight. Now, this is because your viewers get more of an insight of your model's personal life. It adds a bit of personality. You can add if you have a niche to your model, add it into this 100%. These highlights can be anything from, gym highlights, travel highlights, whatever the model gets up to on a day to day, if she's really into food, dieting, all that kind of stuff. And also, we recommend one call to action highlight. Now, this will be for your more provocative call to action stories. So when you're posting your story with a call to action, post it on your call to action story, and that's going to have links all over the place, linking directly to where they want to look. And of course, you can be very clever with your provocative call to action stories. I think we go over that in a future slide. So now you have an optimized account to be able to reach the right audience and reach them correctly. So now, obviously, the next step is to post the right content at the right times. So posting content, posts slash reels. You want to post 1 to 3 times a day, supplemented with a couple of stories. Now, treat stories and post slash reels as two separate entities, because they pretty much are. You can probably post, 10 to 20 stories a day. It won't really affect your account much, but you can only really post 1 to 3 times a day on your normal feed. So, of course, keep in mind, key step number one of marketing is take it slow. Start out posting one a day on your accounts. There's reasons for this. Instagram does not want to see some brand new account post 5 times a day. Even if you want to fill out your feed and make it look more, legit and new, it's not going to do that. It's going to slow down your organic reach completely. So calm down. A couple of stories, of course. Now, post during peak activity times. So, things that you have to keep in mind is obviously the time zone of your audience. So, are they based in the US? Are you trying to target people in the US? Are they based in the UK? Are they based in, I don't know, Australia? Keep that in mind and think, when are these people active? Now, I've listed a few times here, lunchtime, after work, before bed. Also, when they wake up, I'd say as well. Now, what's great for us in UK time zone is we could post at lunchtime, and that is most likely when US are just starting to wake up. So most people now, they check their phone when they wake up. It's fucking, yeah, it's bad. I do it as well, to be honest, so I can't really chat shit. But what's great is you can post at lunchtime when people have lunch breaks, people are off work, all that kind of shit. The US are starting to wake up on UK time zone, so it's great. And also when it's our kind of after work time, it's US lunchtime. So great time zone to be in, if I do say so myself. Now, an example of a post is, of course, a nice looking HD image that looks like she took it herself. It doesn't have to be every post she took it herself. I'm kind of over exaggerating that point, but it does look very natural. Looks like she just set the camera up and took a picture, right? Now, example of reels you can get very creative with reels. Some good ideas for reels is provocative captions. That usually does a lot of numbers. Make sure the captions are good, obviously, and kind of entertain the audience, and don't put any mad shit so that you get banned. But you also want to keep your audience engaged and keep it provocative. Few reasons, of course, the more engagement you get, the higher that will get pushed in the algorithm to more people. And of course, keeping it provocative is going to let them know exactly what you do without them actually knowing what you do. Stories. Now, lifestyle stories. These are very key. People overlook these all the time. So, believe it or not, people who subscribe to platforms such as OnlyFans, FanView, they are interested in speaking to that model and being involved in that model's life. Sounds weird, I know, but that is exactly what they're into. So, lifestyle stories, once a day at least, are going to enable you to give them a little insight into, what you're getting up to, what you're into. It will spark conversations on socials. It will spark conversations in your IG DMs, which you can, do other stuff with, automate some AI shit, which I'm not going to cover in this, but you can do that. But yeah, literally anything that the kind of model is getting up to in a day-to-day life. So literally what females would post, right? Scenery. So if you're just out and about on a fucking walk, take a video, post it on your model's feed, any food that you have, selfies. Now I know what you're thinking. This image here that has been posted on the story is of a female's torso with some breakfast. Where do you find images like this? Pinterest. Pinterest is probably like the king of images like this. Girls will go on there, they'll post, aesthetic images that they want their friends to see or they want random people to see because it makes them feel better about themselves, whatever. Um, and you find loads of images like this. They're faceless. You're not harming anyone by posting a girl's nails. and it's aesthetic images that you probably wouldn't take yourself if you are a man like me. So also provocative call to action stories, kind of went over that, but a key thing about this one on the right here is it obviously has the call to action, the link there, exactly where the customer wants to look. So you're covering the cleavage area with the link. So they're going to want to look there. They're fucking stupid. They're going to try click it off the screen. They're going to click on the family page. They're going to subscribe. So yeah, key thing there. Now, one thing to note is do not put a direct fan view link on your stories. This is more likely to get you banned than a direct fan view link in your bio for sure. Stories for some reason have like an extra layer of detection on them. So use a link tree, use a encryption service for your stories. Now, gaining your first 1,000 followers. Gaining your first 1,000 followers is a consistency game or an expensive game, let's say. So when you are at that stage, 0 to 1,000 followers, you are in the trenches. You know, you're going to have to do some mad shit to be able to get those 1,000 followers. Reason being is because when you are at 1,000 followers plus, it is easy to go viral. That's not just because Instagram's favoring people who have the number above 1,000, so don't buy followers, don't do any stupid shit, but it is because, in general, the amount of people that are going to engage with your account when you have 1,000 plus followers are going to be a lot greater, or the chances of them doing that are a lot greater. How social media works in general, especially Instagram, especially Reels in specific, is they will test the waters with your content. TikTok's a great example, and Instagram Reels are a great example. So what they'll do is post it to your followers first. Now, your followers are going to get the first eyes on Instagram Reels, and the amount of people who engage with that content from your followers is going to determine the amount of people that Instagram push it to. And then the more people that engage with it, that Instagram push it to, they push it to more people. Or if it performs shit to your followers, they probably won't push it to other people. If it performs good to your followers, shit to other people, they'll probably just push it to your followers. Makes sense, kind of very quick talking, but that's in general how Reels and social media is going to work. So that is why it's key to get to those 1,000 plus followers before you start, banging out 3 or more posts per day, because you're going to shadow ban your account. You're going to do something stupid. You're going to get frustrated. There are ways to obviously boost this. You can pay for traffic. That's in general what I do nowadays is, of course, starting from zero. I'll either purchase an account off someone which already has a lot of followers on. Going to cover this in a second. Do not just buy a botted account. That's stupid. It won't do anything for you. But in general, I will pay for traffic to get to the 1,000 plus followers, and then we'll focus on organic content and actually pushing that to more people. Again, reasons for that, methods of doing that. Do not get scammed. That's a future slide. And all it takes to actually start making money is to go viral. Now you can see the exact figures of the followers gained. This is actually us going viral on a model. We paid for a bit of traffic around here, and then that obviously pushed it organically. Again, with the followers engaging with the posts, it pushes it in Instagram's algorithm. So we got pushed pretty heavily here, and it went on to, I think, get almost like 2K new subs in the space of like 3 days, which is obviously good stuff. Now you can see that coincide with the results that come through. So we instantly got our money back on the amount of money we spent to get that traffic, if that makes sense. Now this is only, when's this? 18th to 24th Jan. Like very, very, very recent stuff. All it takes is to go viral. So, it's worth sitting around, being patient, and actually getting to that stage where you can go viral. I know that many people can't afford traffic. Traffic's very expensive. If people are offering you traffic on Instagram for $20, it's bullshit. Don't buy it. Again, mentioned here, do not buy followers. Instagram will recognize botted followers instantly and restrict your growth, or just even ban you. Unlikely they'll ban you, to be honest, but most likely they'll shadow ban you and restrict you from reaching a further audience. There is no service or person on earth who can give you or sell you legitimate followers. Now, okay, this could be worded slightly differently. There is services that exist that you could gain followers from, But if someone is coming to you in your DMs and they're offering to give you 2,000 followers, they're just going to buy those followers for like 30p online and they're going to give them to you for like $20. It's not a good exchange. It's not going to work. They're not legit. Don't listen to anyone coming to you in your DMs and telling you that you can get promos, you can get this and that. It's all bollocks. Don't get scammed. If you do buy it, what you do is receive fake accounts from third world countries. Now, for all my friends who are watching this from India, I know there's a lot of you, or other third world countries, there's absolutely nothing wrong with third world countries, but we want to target first world countries because they have money. That, no customer, or very unlikely anyway, is going to come from a third world country and be your biggest spender. It's very, very unlikely. Instagram will basically aim your future content to these third world countries who are not going to subscribe, not going to spend money. So the way that Instagram targets your future followers is based on your current audience. So let's say you have 50% US audience and the rest is like a mix of others. Instagram more likely to push you to a US audience because that's who's currently engaging with you. And if the US has a certain interest in your content, Instagram will push that more towards the US, unlike, TikTok, other platforms, which are kind of based on location, not to overcomplicate things. Um, Aged accounts. These used to be heavily recommended, but now they've kind of cracked down on them. Definitely non-essential, but if you wanted aged accounts that have followers, as I said, sometimes I will buy not an aged account, but an account with followers. Aged account and grown account is slightly different. But there's certain things you need to consider. Obviously, who you're buying from. Have they already been doing AI models? Have they just been growing a random meme page? Are these followers legit? Most importantly, and where are the majority of the followers based? Are they based in a third world country? If so, not worth buying because the future followers you're going to get are going to be from those third world countries. Recently, freshly made accounts actually perform better. So as I just said, aged accounts, this used to be like a standard go-to, buy an aged account, and this is the quickest way to grow. Now, the quickest way to grow is to grow a freshly made account. You do have to warm these accounts up. You can't jump in, as I've already mentioned, you can't jump in, post 5 times a day and go viral. Not going to happen. But if you warm them up correctly, start very slowly and slowly edge into faster growing content, this will grow your audience a lot quicker. Um, in a business model this simple, there is no need for shortcuts. And that's absolutely true. You have very complex business models, very complex businesses out there. This is a very, very simple one. You don't need to cut corners. You don't need to speed your time up by, 3 days. It's not necessary. It's very unlikely that you'll die tomorrow if you don't get 10 followers on Instagram. It's just, yeah, it's stupid how many people rush the process of this. Shout for shout. This is a method that you can use to get followers, and I have a network for this as well. So you can obviously find other models who look similar to yours, maybe even not look similar to yours. Maybe they just have a similar number of followers, maybe even more followers you want to target. Reach out to them, ask if they'd be interested in doing a shout for shout, shout out for shout out, SFS, whatever. Yeah. You can do this on Instagram. I have a Telegram network for this. It is called FanView, L for L, and SFS. I'll probably link this in the chat after this because that's quite a long thing to remember. Anyway, both parties obviously post a provocative-ish, don't push Instagram's boundaries too much. Provocative image of the other person's model, telling their audience to follow, or just tagging them in general. This, of course, is just going to boost both audiences. You're probably thinking they're going to steal my audience, this and that. Realistically, if someone is subbed to one FanView account or following one Instagram account, what is stopping them from doing that again? Nothing. They're going to subscribe to both. We're going to follow both. Paid shout outs. Now, do not reach out to pages and do not accept people who have messaged you. The reason you do not reach out to pages is because they will charge you about 10 times what that shout out is actually worth. There are certain networks, there are certain people who have connections to these pages who will give you a discounted rate. I have very good connections that can give me cheaper promos, and always I can supply that to you guys if you wish. Just reach out to me somewhere. And do not accept people that have messaged you. If someone's messaging you, offering you a promo, they have a shit page. Like fact, they have a shit page, and they're just trying to get money from promos. So don't bother. It's not worth it, especially if it's like $20 and they're saying you're going to gain like 200,000 followers. Don't even bother. Yeah. Find a trustworthy supplier who do this for you. Again, I can supply you with that, or you can go find your own promo supplier. Number two, obviously create a good ad creative. This can differ. I'm not going to get too in depth into this because it's quite hard to explain without having examples, but this could just be a provocative-ish reel of yourself, or it could just be a nice image that a page is posting of you. And then obviously number three is funnel the customers to fan view. Well, funnel the customers to your Instagram page, then they're going to see the link in your bio, blah, blah, blah. So once you have got your Instagram warmed up and optimized, you want to be posting 3 reels a day. No real excuse unless you get shadow banned or have a setback or any of this kind of thing. In that case, you want to slow down. But once it's warmed up, there's certain kind of things that can signify that your account is warmed up, such as, it's got 1,000+ followers, it's starting to gain external views to your audience. You can check that in your insights. If you go into Instagram, go on the post, check your insights. It will say like 50% or whatever non-followers. If it's got over 50% non-followers, that's a very good sign that your Instagram is warmed up. Slowly increase the amount of posts you're doing per day until you max that out. Don't do more than 3 a day. Setting up a fan view profile. So the reason we use fan view, OnlyFans versus fan view in terms of AI. Now, OnlyFans does not allow AI. Fan view advocates AI. Fan view loves AI. OnlyFans takes 20% cut. Fan view takes 15% cut. OnlyFans, poor customer support. Fan view, brilliant customer support. Pretty much simple as that. OnlyFans, fucking shit customer support. Don't even bother reaching out to them if you do have an account. Um, So verification. Obviously, we done this yesterday on the chat, on the live call, sorry, that we did yesterday. I asked some of you guys to create an account. I believe quite a lot of you did create an account on the link and using the promo code, which is great. So yeah, step one, create an account, of course. If you haven't done this yet, wait until I send the link in again, and then you can make an account on our code and you will get 100% of your earnings. Step two, make sure you create your account. Don't set up a fan account, of course. You don't want to do that. Select your own country. Obviously, a lot of people somehow fuck this up. It will use, your country's banking system and your country's ID system. So if you input Brazil and you're from the UK, it's going to be searching for, a UK license and it's going to think you're a Brazilian citizen. So verification, of course, verify it with your own ID. Now, a lot of people on the call yesterday said that they can't verify it with their own ID. They're from countries that don't allow fan view. In that case, I did not suggest, but I know people who are from certain countries which do not allow fan view. What they've done is gone and networked with people who are in countries which do allow fan view, paid them a very small fee, and they've set them up an account. Not telling you to do that, but there's something that exists. Yeah, verify it with your own ID and upload a selfie video. Pretty simple stuff. Now, profile or your banner picture and your banner picture. Sorry, not or. Whoops. Profile/banner picture. So provocative. Now, this is obviously you're not going to be too provocative. You're not going to show anything that people would subscribe for, but you want to give them a little teaser. So as you can see here, this model's clearly got her top off. She's on her side. It also fills out the whole banner, which is quite a nice touch. And obviously, you want to show off best quality images and the most aesthetic as possible. This is like your first impression. Basic minimal standard is the example I've left here on the left. So yeah, you can even see the name of this model if you want to check the page out. Likes are also very important. So there is a like for like group in the shout for shout group I just mentioned as well. And likes are going to basically, let me rephrase, likes, the amount of images, videos are basically the first thing a customer is going to see. Are they going to subscribe to a page which has one like one image and zero videos? No, because they're going to see it accounts like this, which have 15K likes, 800 pieces of content and a video, and they're going to assume that they get that video for free when they subscribe. Most likely that's going to be pay to view, but separate kind of topic. Bio. Once again, keep your bio simple. Do not put into ChatGPT. Every time I see someone start an AI model, they assume they have to use AI in the bio. Don't make a ChatGPT bio. They're shit. Keep them very simple. So line one, info about the model. Very similar to what you do on Instagram. 18, fresh out of college is in this example. That works. That's a very provocative. It's got a winky face. It's insinuating. Um, it's kind of insinuating that she's ready to try new things and moving on to the next stage of her life. Line two, something to show naivety, youth, and innocence. Now, of course, don't do this if your model's an older model, like in the MILF niche. Of course, you're going to want to kind of portray the opposite, of course. So, new to fan view, kind of clueless, posting a lot of exclusive stuff. She seems naive, she seems youthful and innocent. All kind of weird traits when you think about it. The kind of target audience who are going to be interested in this girl. Line three, an incentive to subscribe. So, DM me. I love to talk. I send free pics in DMs if you talk to me nicely. Don't get me wrong, this line in particular will bring in a lot of time wasters and a lot of people we don't want to deal with into your page. However, they can boost things like likes. We can use them for shit like that. So they are worth having about, if you will. Cool. Subscription price. Now, don't make your subscription price too high or that high. $20. It's kind of pointless, right? You're a very new creator. You have no credibility. If you were trying to think of an OnlyFans girl. If you were Sophie Rain, going extremely viral right now, if you were Sophie Rain, you could probably charge $20. I don't know how much she charges, by the way. I promise. You could probably charge $20, but you're brand new. You offer nothing in the customer's eyes yet because they haven't subscribed. They don't really know anything about you. You basically, at this moment in time, offer nothing but nude content, which they can get for free. Offering a promotional discount will create a sense of urgency. You can create a discount, for example, 70% for 7 days and make it very exclusive. I'd probably put this on unlimited amount, but 7 days is good. What it will do is actually show the customer like a timer. This runs out in 6 days, fucking 59 minutes. So it will kind of incentivize them to get a fucking move on, basically. Recommended subscription price, probably say like $5 to $10, honestly. It's absolutely fine. And most likely, you're going to want to set this to free when you start out because you want to get people into the account so that you can talk to them, so that you can gain a connection with them and you can sell them content in DMs because most of our money comes from messages. It does not come from people subscribing. So, in fact, a lot of the accounts that I run nowadays have free subscriptions because subscription price is kind of shit, right? No one really subscribes. Plus, on Fanbase, you can follow anyway. You can turn that feature off, but you can follow, get free messages in anyway. So now, automated messages. Let's brainstorm some ideas. Little bit of interaction for you lot. So, new subscriber. What an automated message is, just to clear this up, is when someone, for example, subscribes, they get this new subscriber message. You can set these, and they will automatically send to subscribers when they subscribe or follow, cancel their subscription, whatever you want to set it to. You don't have to set all of them. Yeah. Anyway, so new subscriber. What do you think would be a good example of a new subscriber message? Hang on 1 second. Cool. Everyone put in the chat your best kind of attempt at a new message to send to a subscriber. You should have access to the chat. If you don't, then I'm fucking monging it. Cool. Seeing some responses. Let me read some out. Hi, thanks for subscribing. How are you doing? Sim worse. Sim worse. Could do some improvement though. Welcome them and send them a free teaser pic. That's better. I like that idea better. Of course, you could be more specific with the message. Um, Hi, glad you're here with the community. Where are you from? I wouldn't say something like this. You're here with a community. This kind of insinuates that there's multiple people on the account or there's people running the account. It's going to kind of scare a lot of people off, I think, because realistically, guys want to be with the girl. They don't want other guys with the girl in general. Anyway, there are some fucked up people, but they want, to be one-on-one with the girl. They want a relationship. So insinuating there's a community aspect to it means that you're not exclusive, means that you're not kind of available to that guy. So I'd say that that can definitely do some improvements. I'm just going to read like one or two more. Fucking hell, someone went all in, sent a long one. Surely that's off ChatGPT. It's actually not that bad. Sending you all my love, Isabella. I quite like that one, for sure. Not bad. What's your name? Jim. Good shit. Cool. Welcome to my too hot to handle page. I can make your dreams come true, so tell me, what do you like to see? Are you sure you can handle it? I like that. Mathematics. Nice shit, mate. Good. Cool. Anyway, we're gonna actually go over. Let's go. Sorry, I just locked the chat again, by the way. I will open it up again for future things. Appreciate everyone's effort. Cool. So new subscriber. New subscriber in general, you want to have, a cute welcome, make it personal. I would actually say this is a bit long, this example here, or a bit, overkill. You could keep it simpler than this, but also having an image here to almost like welcome them with. It's like a free bit of content. It's like a bit of teaser image. Don't give nude away for free, by the way, if they subscribe, unless you have like a $20 subscription, maybe. But again, don't really recommend that. Saying I'm new to this, it does give that innocent vibe. So as you can see, obviously we say I'm new to this, blah blah blah. I'll be naughty, sexual vibe. So you're letting them know you're not just here to have general chat. You are here to exchange naughty chat and content. And then ending with a question will urge them to reply. That's obviously not on this example here, but ending with a question will give them a reply. Most of the people who you're going to encounter who are going to subscribe to these kind of pages, they're very lonely guys. They probably haven't fucking spoken to a girl in real life ever, right? So ending with a question is going to allow them, an excuse to reply or give them something to reply with. They're very socially awkward, remember. They probably don't want to start a general conversation just from nothing anyway. So if you're giving them a question to answer on the spot and you've sent them a nice image and you're being a bit cute with it, blah, blah, blah. That's obviously going to incentivize them a lot to reply. So great stuff. Now, subscriber cancelled. Some fun here. Let's do a 2 minute sesh again in the chat. Send me your best subscriber cancelled messages. Should be able to send messages. Oh, Jim, you're definitely copy and pasting from your current one. I like it. If you're not, then well done. You have this prepped. Hey, I noticed you decided to cancel your subscription. Not, I'm going to miss you. I was gonna send you some content for free that I made yesterday, but you left me. That's fucking good. A bit of FOMO, they missed out on a bit of content. They're gonna subscribe again, basically. I knew I wasn't worth it, making them feel upset, adding emotion into it. I like that. I'll still send it to you if you come back to me, baby. Very good shit, Jim. I like it. What are you doing here, weirdo? That would be a good one. I don't know if you're talking to me or, um, answering the question, but that would be good. Funny, at least. Show me your dick pics. That'll work. Sad to see you go. Is there anything I could possibly do to keep you here? That, no, Jack, good attempt on this one. Obviously, sad to see you go is good. Is there anything I could do to keep you here? They're going to ask for free content. We could, in our message, insinuate that we're going to give free content away if they resubscribe. But what we don't want to do is, let them be in control of the conversation. We always want to take control and we always want to be in control of the customer. So thank you for your efforts again. Cool. So subscriber cancelled. Make it personal, of course. Hey, I noticed you cancelled your sub. I'm going to miss you. You're building like an emotional connection with them. Of course, if you've never chatted to them, it would be a bit weird receiving that message. But in general, if they've spoke to you before, that's gonna spark some emotional kind of connection they've previously had with your model. So very good shit there. Guilt trip them. I knew I wasn't worth it, as Jim said. Great FOMO by talking about free content. I wanted to send you my content for free I made yesterday, but you left already. Knew I wasn't worth it. Very good line. I'll still send you those vids if you come back. Pretty much exactly what Jim said. Actually, it's quite weird. Um, anyway, give them another chance. Let them subscribe again. Give them a bit of free content. It doesn't have. You don't say anything nude here. You're just saying you give them some free content. Resubscribe, subscription renewed. I'm not going to bother with the chat again. I think that gimmick is a bit boring, but we will open the chat again to ask questions later. Subscription renewed, thank them, show excitement, and end with a question. So this example here, hey, welcome back. Thank you for being here. I'm excited that we can chat again. How have you been? Ending with a question, absolutely key. Open up the conversation again. Let them reply. Upsell them content. Hire very aggressive chatters to deal with this customer. AI model business mindset. So you're not just a content creator, you are the CEO of a business. Believe it or not, this business model is extremely scalable and extremely easy to understand. Once you understand the foundations, all it takes is decent content, a good social media structure, and a good fan view page, and decent sales team. Once you have those things in place, you can obviously start to implement more models, you know, all this kind of stuff, more models, more sales teams, all this kind of shit. Extremely, extremely scalable. You're not just some content creator making content. You're also a CEO within this business model. So it does actually have some sort of value in terms of business. You're not just posting on Instagram, chatting to blokes on FanView. That would be weird. You're making money. You're a legit business. If Jeff Bezos handed you the ownership of Amazon, would you sit back and wait until you felt like working? Of course you wouldn't. You got fucking Amazon to run. You got an empire. You got to run your shit. So if you felt demotivated, would you let the operation fall apart? No, you wouldn't. You keep going. Do everything in your power to ensure everything runs exactly as it should. Be happy to sacrifice a few hours of sleep. Work through your demotivated mood. You know this business model works. You know that. I presented that to you in these first 2 days of this 3-day challenge. You understand that you can make life-changing money from it. We've shown you this. Our students have literally shown you exactly that. Go above and beyond. Put in everything you have. Conduct market research to inspire your image creation and to inspire your social strategies. Ensure consistency in posting reels daily. Implement as many marketing strategies as you can. Find help from as many networks and experts as you can. What really fucking helps is having other people within your network doing the exact same thing as you or very similar to you. Even if you have a network with someone who's doing Forex trading and you're doing AI models, they are still on the same kind of grind mindset. They still want to differentiate themselves from the norm. And experts, of course, having a mentor will avoid you, thousands in lost hours and also thousands in lost dollars when you're trying promos or whatever you're doing, hiring chatters, all that kind of stuff. So let us introduce you to Mantis. This is a 30-day result from the man himself. As you can see, pretty impressive. Mantis is a student of ours who is consistently making well over 10K per month. His model only has 12,000 followers on Instagram, and when he first started making 10K a month, his model had just over 4,000 followers. So this shows you that you do not need a huge, experience in social media. You do not need a huge following to hit those numbers. All you need is a couple whales to give you a couple grand a month. Sounds extreme, of course, but it's very, very much more likely in this industry than any other. Now, a few weeks before he hit 10K, he was making nothing. Now, I mean quite literally like less than $1,000 a month. The issue was that he was posting the wrong kind of content. The content, lacked context, wasn't targeting the right audience, and he didn't realize that his Instagram account had been restricted due to several mistakes that he'd made. He joined Imagine Education, and we provided him with a step-by-step roadmap on what to do. As you can see here, this was when he first hit that 10K month. Now, you might assume that it's the models with hundreds of thousands of followers who are making the most money, but that's really not the case. Really, really not the case. I know models who have two, three, 400,000 followers making less than 10K. And also, I know models who don't even have social media making a lot more than 10K, which is crazy, of course. But there's certain methods out there that, of course, the owners of those know. So how can they be marketing, sorry, incorrectly if they have hundreds of thousands of followers? You can't have the wrong followers, and many people buy their followers. Followers can be kind of misconstrued. People can buy. There's nothing stopping you going out there and buying 200K followers, like nothing. In fact, it's very, very cheap. Probably costs you like $20 if you look in the right places. It's not only that, but of course, a lot of people don't have marketing knowledge. Yes, okay, it takes some sort of social media knowledge or some sort of intuition to know how to build up a fan base. If they do have 100,000 followers, they probably know something about posting on Instagram. You'd think, but some people actually don't. And certainly, a lot of those people don't know how to market their model correctly. Some pictures of Mantis's model there and also some results from the program. More results from the program. This guy here, what was this result? Just hit 1.5K. There you go. Look, Toby gave him a tip on a new Instagram account. It worked. And then bang, this month made 1.5K. 1.6K in one day down here is from the program as well. Now, I love to give you homework. So here's some homework for today. Hopefully, yesterday, you set up your model fan view account. If not, I'm going to give you a chance to do that in a second as well. And also, hopefully, you started to make some content. Now, if you did start to make some content, you're in luck because that will completely shorten your time down today. I want you to set up your AI models Instagram account. And if you haven't already, set up the fan view account. Yeah, so don't worry if you haven't attended the last 2 days, but welcome back to those who have. So, some wins from yesterday. So, on day one, we went through fan view setup and AI creation. Now, that's a small win there, but instead of going through specific wins, from the community, because there was over 200 people that attended, all that kind of stuff, I'm just going to go through general wins. But wins from yesterday is you should now have set up an Instagram account, and also you should have set up your fan view account with optimization ready for fans to come into the account. And also we taught you some marketing stuff as well. So once again, in less than 2 days, you have created your AI model, you have generated some content for that model, optimized the model's Instagram, and set up your fan view account. So you are pretty much on your way to make money today. We're going to teach you exactly how that is done and some general tips along the way, what to avoid, what not to do, and especially what to do and how to actually embark on this journey and start making money. And hopefully by the end of it, I want you to send me some results that you have got by the end of the night today. That'd be fucking amazing. That's my goal today. So this is the easiest and most efficient money-making business model of 2025. Absolutely zero doubts about it. By the end of this year, the barrier to entry into this business model will be so vast that you will not be able to kind of get a foothold in this industry, if that makes sense. So you want to start now, you want to start fast, and that is exactly why we're teaching this to you in January, so you can start your year successfully. By the end of it, this business model we predict will be too late to get into. So AI model monetization strategies. How are you actually going to make money? So there are three primary methods of monetizing your content. Number one, subscriptions. Of course, this is where customers obviously come into your account and they will pay a subscription fee to get access to all the content, to all the access the messenger model, all that kind of stuff. That's the reason why people will subscribe to these kind of websites and pay that money, is purely because they want to be a part of that model's life. They want to come in, they want to chat, all that stuff. So subscriptions is super key, and that's what we're going to go over on section 1. Section 2 is pay to unlock, and section 3 is pay to view. These are very, very similar, but they work in two separate mechanisms. Pay to unlock works on your feed, so on your general fan view feed, just like an Instagram has a feed, and that will give you your pay to unlock posts. And then on number 3, your pay to view, that will be in your messages. And we're going to go over exactly how to message your customers, or in fact, just the intro of how to message your customers, because it can get very, very complex. So pay to view, super key. And this is where most of the money is made, in my experience. Absolutely no doubt. So thirsty. Let's go. So subscriptions, very, very straightforward, and basically requires no extra work on your part. What this means is you don't need to control anything like you would with pay to view. That's all the messages. You will be, messaging customers, all that kind of stuff. But subscriptions, you've already got your funnel set up and you've already got traffic coming into your account by this point. So if someone decides to subscribe, that's no extra effort on you. This is basically passive income, if you want to think about it like that. So this is the income you'll also be earning from people subscribing to your model's fan view account. And of course, the only way to increase this is by optimizing your funnel, optimizing your Instagram page, and marketing effectively on Instagram, as well as other social medias, of course. And maybe you even find an alternate method that's not through social media. Not all marketing has to come from social media, but a great example of our marketing that we do is on Instagram. So absolutely key. What you often find is subscriptions actually make up kind of the minimal end of your earnings. So as you can see here, this is what we call ratios in this industry. So subscription to pay to view, this is your messages, the money you made from messages. Subscriptions are very, very minimal. Right here, I believe this is a 1 to 100 ratio of subscriptions to pay to view. So as you can see, the amount of people that are coming into the account and how much money those people are spending, if they spent $1 on a subscription, they would spend $100 on content just by these, statistics here. This isn't always the case. Sometimes higher, sometimes lower. But in general, this is ratios, and you will see a higher ratio on your pay-to-view content. Subscriptions won't be the main reason that you make thousands every month, though. Don't get me wrong, you can make thousands every month with subscriptions. That's absolutely possible. Some people like to run pages where they focus purely on subscriptions. That, in my opinion, is very hard to do and also requires a lot more effort on the marketing end, often very expensive on the marketing end as well. So yeah, subscriptions we normally find is very minimal, as I just explained. But the goal is, of course, to bring in as many new subscribers as you can each month. So what we normally recommend for beginners is that you have a free subscription or a free trial, purely because you need to get people into that account. It's very difficult, without a brand behind you, without existing content, all this kind of stuff, to bring subscribers into the account and make them spend money on subscription. Very difficult to do. We don't recommend that. So what we recommend is getting as many people into the account as possible as new subscribers, building connections with them, and then you can sell them content with pay to unlock and pay to view. So of course, still care for your current subscribers. This will come up in your reoccurring section on your fan view insights. Very, very important. But of course, the main aim is always, always to gain new subscribers. If you see on your fan view insights, your subscriptions, in the negative, that's a bad thing, because you always want to keep acceleration in this business model and always keep on the up. If you notice it going down, invest what you've made from pay to view content into marketing to get more subscribers in. It's pretty much as simple as that, right? Keep your numbers balanced, keep them on the up. Now, pay to unlock. So you can post content on your fan view wall that subscribers and followers can see. This, again, if you have a free subscription, will be viewable for free. So that's why we don't recommend any nude content on that feed, because you won't be able to sell nude content in the chats, or, very rarely anyway. But also you can add an additional fee on to content that you post on your feed. So this is what we call pay to unlock content. So having a mix of free and paid wall content is absolutely key to running a FanView account. What we recommend is about 1 to 2 pinned posts at the top with pay to unlock content. That will basically allow customers to funnel through. If they instantly want to buy nude content, they can just do so on the wall. Some customers, they don't like to chat, they're a bit shy. As I described in the last lesson, they're, freaks. So that's exactly why you have the option to pay to unlock straight away. Some guys just don't want to chat. So non-explicit content for the free stuff that you're posting and explicit content for the pay to unlock, but not, some mad video that you've just paid a body double to do. That would be quite silly to do on your feed. However, just semi-nude content that you wouldn't give away for free as pay to unlock content is absolutely perfect. What this will do is often, if they do buy it, it will entice them to message you. And in fact, you can set on your automated messages a message that can be sent to people who do buy content from your feed. So very useful. That will entice them to message you after they've bought content. That can be a thank you message, all that kind of stuff. So pay to view content. This is where we're going to show full explicitness. Well, you can start off with kind of semi-nude stuff as you do on the pay to unlock, but eventually you can get to that point where you are showing full explicitness. This content can be purchased by subscribers when they're chatting with you in FanView DMs. Again, super, super key to build connections with your subscribers so that they do buy content in the DMs. Make them as comfortable as possible in your DMs, make them trust you as much as you can so that they will buy content when it comes to that point. Pay to view will literally account for over 80 to 90% of your total revenue. In the case that I showed you on there, that's like what, 98, 99% of the total revenue of that account. So pretty crazy stuff. Now, pay to view, the most effective way to monetize is by selling scripts, which I'm going to go over in just a second. But basically, you'll create a batch of content, which is like a scenario or storyline. This will play into a customer's fantasies and allow you to almost sell in increments, increasing increments. It will increase in explicitity and in price. So absolutely perfect to, set your sales structure around a storyline and around pricing it as to how much the content is explicit. Subscribers can also request custom content. So if they want to see your model in a particular outfit, or they want to see your model, in the bathroom jerking it, that's completely custom to them. So you can charge super high prices for custom content because, of course, you're going to have to come off the platform into your AI generator. Or if you do have a pilot model, which I'm not going to touch on too heavy on this, but that basically be a model who does videos for you. If you are paying someone to do that, that is obviously a more expensive offer because it's fully custom to that person. Cool. So a little intro to how you actually are going to chat. First of all, the first step is to ensure that you have traffic and good traffic. Good traffic is easy to sell to. What this often means is that it's fully warmed up to your model. This will often come from Instagram. Let's just use an example, or it could come from YouTube, whatever, other social media platforms, but often will come from a social media platform where that person has followed your model and is interested in what that model's doing day to day, all that kind of stuff, right? That is what we call very warm traffic. Cold traffic or bad traffic would be an example, such as Threads. Threads. I'm not saying that Threads subscribers are always bad, but what we do find is that subscribers that come from Threads are often subscribed to 100 different other accounts and they just want free shit. That's the truth of what we often find with people that come from Threads because they're just fed that shit all day. If you've ever been on Threads or scroll through Threads, you know how boring of a platform it is. People get bored on there. And that is exactly the reason why people go on Threads is to see that kind of content. It's super weird. So yeah, good traffic is easy to sell to. That's key. That's why you want to warm up your potential subscribers on Instagram as much as possible. Post as much lifestyle stuff, give your model the best personality possible on those social media platforms so that you can then go on to monetize that content as best as possible. Sales skills will need to be good to be able to withdraw money from these customers. This is basically a sales game, right? Now, if you have no experience in sales, this is something that will come with experience. So I wouldn't panic, and start flapping when you get on a chat, like, oh, I'm going to pitch this customer. Should I pitch him now? Should I pitch him later? Am I going to upset him? This is something that will come with experience. You may get a customer in who's willing to buy content and you may fuck it up, but that's okay because on the next one, you would have learned that exact mistake that you just made and you can rectify that with the customer that's just come into the new account. So, this is all sales. Sales can get very, very complex, but it's all sales, right? Simps. What is a simp? This has different meanings to different people, but effectively, these are men who will give an unfair exchange in return for your attention. So they will either pay an extreme amount of money or they will pay an extreme amount of attention for your little attention, right? So they'll basically be in love with the girl, if you will, love them with all their heart, even though, she's AI generated. Remember what I said about these customers, super hard to get in their mindset, but they are often lonely, often, don't know how to talk to girls, and you will often be their first point of contact when it comes to any sort of, female attention, which is sad, but it is what it is, right? So simps are going to be your key. You can create simps. How you create simps is obviously building that long-term relationship over a period of weeks, months, depending on, how little or much experience they have with females. If it's very little, probably be, a few days. If it's quite a lot, probably a few months, if they have like a wife and kids, which you get a lot of those quite fucked up. Anyway, aftercare. Now, this is skipping ahead a little step, but obviously, once you have sold content to these people, one thing that people always forget is that these people are, believe it or not, human. Hard to believe sometimes, don't get me wrong, but they are. So they require some aftercare. What this means is when you make the sale, it's great, right? That's the great feeling. That's your high over. But for the customer, that is their high almost deplenished because they've just spent money. They've just literally spunked away their money on your model. So what that means is you need to give them some sort of aftercare to show that you want them to return, you care about them, and you're going to continue that relationship with them. Not just, oh, I made a sale, great, let's fuck them off and ignore them, because that will not create a long-term relationship. And retention is absolutely key in this industry. Your longest lasting customers will be the customers that give you the most money over the most amount of time. Fact. So sequences and scenarios is what I briefly just touched on when it comes to, how to sell this content. A lot of people obviously confuse how to chat. They'll jump into a chat. They'll try just instantly, making some random guys just come to the account all horny and that. And essentially, that's not really the way we want to go about it. We want to play into fantasies. We want to make this time for the customer feel very, very special. And yeah, almost like a fantasy storyline that they want to play out in their head. So massive, massive part of chatting. And not every conversation has to be a sales pitch or has to be about content. It doesn't have to be like that. And in fact, it shouldn't be like that, especially for your customers who are simps and they're giving you a lot of money already. Not every single conversation that person has with that model, they are going to spend money because that is ridiculous. That is an exchange which they won't be able to understand in their head. As a standard relationship, you may care for your partner, you may give them the odd money if they need it, whatever, which is exactly what they think they're doing. But if every exchange you have with that lady is, in your own relationship, is giving them money, they're a prostitute. That's a completely, separate thing. You don't want them to feel like that. You want them to feel cared for and all that kind of stuff. Cool. So scenarios, some examples. A shower scenario or bath, whatever, bathroom scenario is absolutely brilliant and for obvious reasons can play very, very easily. You're naked in the shower most of the time, I would hope. Not hope, that's weird. Anyway, in bed watching Netflix. Another great one. Netflix has kind of insinuations of getting down to it. Some people go on dates and then go back and watch Netflix. Some people watch Netflix alone. Yeah, weird. Anyway, I'm trying on my new clothes or like a haul. Act like you're excited, all that kind of stuff. Act all cute and like, oh, I just came back from the shops. Want to see me get into my lingerie, and then you get undressed. Whatever. Cool. So essentially what you're doing is getting them into a storyline which they can engage with. Even a good one that I like to use as an example is an office-based scenario. Super weird. Some of these guys will be on FanView during their working day. And also some of these guys will fantasize about the people that they work with. Now, what you can do is, of course, kind of warm them up to that idea that you are almost that figure in the office that they fancy. If they do work in an office, you can obviously find this out when you introduce yourself to the customer and vice versa. And essentially, what you're doing is playing into that fantasy that they have with the chick at the office. So, office scenarios are very, very good for guys that are working during the day and on FanView. Weird as fuck, but yeah. Cool. So this is an example of how a sequence or scenario will go, including the price increments. These are, of course, examples, but would I recommend going lower than these? Not very often. If it has to be done to make the sale, sure. But very often, these are good guidelines for prices. So free photo, laying in bed with legs slightly out. This doesn't even have to be like anything sexual at all. In fact, I recommend that it's not. This could be a selfie. This could be anything like this. I believe this is a Netflix example. So yeah, free photo laying in bed, with like legs slightly out. This just shows the person that you're giving them some sort of, provocative or interaction where it seems like you're in a natural scenario and you're letting that person know that you're just chatting to them very, very naturally. You're not some bloke behind a screen. You are now uh, Alex, the AI model, right? Low priced video of her taking her top off. Now, this is actually an OnlyFans scenario, so ignore the video part. Picture's fine. You could do this with an image very, very simply. But yeah, low price video of taking her top off, picture, whatever, pretty simple. Or just, showing a bit of cleavage, sell that for $9. Medium price video or image of her playing with her titties. I'm not going to read the rest out, by the way, because it's embarrassing. $20. Now, this again could just be an image of her with her tits out. High priced video of her taking the rest of her clothes off, $35. Now she's fully naked. This could be a fully naked image in the exact scenario. One thing to keep key is, she's not going to be in bed watching Netflix and then be on a tropical beach naked. That's, not really playing into the storyline. It's not really playing into the fantasy. So keep it, the same background or very similar background at least, so that you are able to sell that effectively. Video of masturbation, whatever, or picture. Again, you do not have to use videos. A lot of people prefer to use videos. I personally like to use videos, but images work just as well. And I know a lot of accounts, as I mentioned in previous sessions, that make, over 10K a month with just images very easily as well. And you can read the rest because I'm not reading them out. But $100, $100. These could easily go for more, by the way. Some pieces of content on FanView go for $500, or even I've seen more than that, which is absolutely crazy. But it does happen. Like, you do kind of gauge with experience whether a customer is willing to spend a stupid, stupid amount of money. This could be their like play around money that they have, and they're like a doctor, unlikely, but yeah. Cool. So I wanted to introduce you to a little case study of a student of ours, Matty, purely to show you kind of the possibilities of this business model. So before Matty discovered the AI model business, he was already working in the SMMA space. So social media marketing, kind of similar because you do use Instagram, you do use other methods to be able to market these models. So he already kind of had that behind him. So fair enough. You may not be in the exact situation that he is in, but he faced challenges, of course. I personally was in SMMA as well. I'm sure that a lot of you have tried SMMA. It's one of those business models that are massive online. If you've tried online business before, you may have come across SMMA. His clients were nightmare cases, late payments, and endless amendments even after he had finished the job. Super annoying. And obviously, once the job was done, the clients wouldn't need him anymore because he's already promoted their business. So very, very annoying. But when we first spoke to Matty, he was interested in AI models because they basically solved all of the issues below. There are no waiting periods for payments, no amendment process, and clients come to you and stay long term. Just a fact, right? These are some images of the lovely Matty's model and obviously some of the crazy views that this model gets. He, of course, with his social media marketing experience, was able to effectively warm up Instagram accounts, which we've given you a guide for as well. So you are kind of in that boat as well, and able to give, the right structures to his reels and to his other social media pages to be able to get maximum viewership and actually gain an effective customer base. These are some examples of some of the reels that he posted and some of the super viral reels as well. So again, reels, they don't have to be face swap content. They don't have to be just an image with music behind it. They don't even have to be anything like that, but just some kind of text that will provoke customers to have an interest in this model and follow this model will allow you to be able to warm up that customer or potential customer over a certain period of time. If someone spends 4 weeks obsessing over your model on Instagram, they're very, very likely to convert to a fan view page because they're going to want to talk to that model. You're going to make the only way to talk to that model your fan view page, right? Super simple. One example, I'm going to read it out. The rest, you can do whatever you like. This recording will be available, blah, blah, blah. At the right page of 21, I'm all about self-love, coffee, facials, loads of vitamin D, and older guys who aren't afraid of tongue behind my flower from behind. Very interesting stuff. Again, you can screenshot these, you can do whatever you like. I'm not reading these out, but it shows you that you can literally get millions of views with just writing on your reels. This is literally, of course, very, very provocative stuff, which also won't trigger Instagram's kind of detection system because he's used things like tongues and flower emojis to kind of cover up what he is actually trying to insinuate with this model. But yeah, shows you the possibilities of these AI creators. Now, I'm going to play you a very short video, and what that is going to do is basically show you Matty's testimonial to us, and he's going to explain kind of what we've done to help him on this journey. So hopefully you'll be able to hear this.
Otherwise, man, I gotta say,
Yeah, so
it's been a crazy journey. But yeah, man, it's been totally worth it, man. Fucking so much fun too, man. I got to I just have so much freedom as well right now. Like I'm making my own schedule. I don't have to do anything like I did with my old SMMA and my old dropshipping businesses. So yeah, man, this is just wanted to thank you guys for all your support, man. Always being there for me, and sincerely, guys, I really appreciate you.
Damn, bro, it gave me goosebumps, man. Right, no, all good, bro. All good, man. How much did you do in August, by the way? Was it a decent amount, or do you not want to say?
Cool. So I believe he does go on to tell us how much he actually made, which of course we're going to cover in just a second. But as you can hear from his own words, he was able to basically transform his life completely using AI models, which is absolutely crazy. He transformed his SMMA and his previous dropshipping experience into a seriously high earning, AI model account. So after that first month of being operational, he had basically earned over 10K. Crazy. More than triple what he was making with SMMA. As we all know, SMMA profit margins are super low, whereas AI models, you're pretty much getting 100% of that. 10K basically came from less than 20 subscribers. As you saw at the start, those ratios are no joke. All it takes is 20 people to make 10K. And each of those subscribers had literally spent over $500 each in the DMs. And I'm sure they stuck around after that. So just think about that. You could very, very easily have 20 conversations with your friends on Facebook in an hour. Yes, they're not your friends. Yes, you're applying sales. Yes, you're learning new skills, but you get the point. You could very easily hold 20 conversations with your friends in an hour. So this is actually Matty's result that he sent us after that call. As we can see, very, very close to that $30,000 in a month mark. Yeah, this was October to November time. So very, very close to that. I'm sure that he has proceeded on to make more than that in future months, as I know that he is, still super viral on his Instagram and all that kind of stuff, and obviously has those skills in place now. But crazy stuff. I don't even need to really explain why that's crazy. And that is obviously the main beauty of working with us, is that you have us in your corner for life, quite literally. I have students from 1, 2 years ago that will message me out of the blue, and I will answer their message absolutely no problem. And it might be a question, it might just be something to share. That's what we do. We give value to each other. And in fact, many of my previous students have gone on to collaborate with myself purely because, they've seen something, they've taken an opportunity, and I completely respect that. And also, the brilliant thing is obviously learning from myself and other coaches that I work with is that they know the correct way, and I'm very confident in that. So some more case studies for you. Mantis, we covered Mantis in the previous 10K with less than 5K followers. Crazy stuff. You do not need a massive social following to be able to make money in this industry. Matty, 10K with less than 20 paying subs, and then managed to jump that up to 30K a month with all of his viral reels and all that kind of stuff. Pav, 30K without selling a single video. Pav is one of them students who does not have videos on his FanView page. He literally just sells AI images, custom images, videos, images, sorry, in the chats, custom stuff. AI models are a money glitch. I've been telling people this for the last 2 years. AI models are off the back of, OFM and all that stuff. That's great. But AI models give you double the profit margins that OFM would. This is a serious, serious money glitch. And let's break it down for just a second, because there is not a single attractive girl on Instagram who cannot gain followers. Try think of one, you can't. If they wanted to gain followers, they would. There may be some girls who don't have a lot of followers because they don't promote themselves or whatever, but there is not a single attractive girl who can't gain followers. There are 2 billion users on Instagram, which obviously 50% is going to be male, probably more. And all you need is a handful of them to change your life. Think of the chances of that. And you're probably thinking, won't this market get saturated? But this is not like selling a physical product. You're not selling fucking fidget spinners on Shopify. Sex has been sold since 4000 BC. Fact. It is never going to slow down. This is the longest lasting industry and will continue to be the longest lasting industry in the world. And there will always be more people ready to spend money on your AI model. Fact. And let us prove it to you right now. So here are some more results of students from our $47 course. So this came from names blurred out, $650 in 3 hours. Super, super impressive there. Obviously, you can see the timestamps, you can see the amount of money being made on the FanView page there. $460 in 30 minutes. Mental. It's $250 from one single sub. Crazy. All in a day as well, as you can see by the timestamps. 5.2K from one single subscriber. This guy had been subbed for 1 month, spent 5K on messages. It's laughable, right? Not because of, this guy who's clearly, lonely, whatever. That's not the reason it's laughable. It's laughable because of how insane that actually is to most people. $235 from one sub in 1 hour and $10,000 from one sub. Need I say more? No. 1.2K in 1 hour, $250 from one sub. Again, $370 from one sub in 1 hour. Again. So in just 72 hours, you have gone from knowing nothing about AI models or, maybe very little, to having your first model created. Hopefully you done that on the first day, having your Instagram optimized and understanding exactly how to monetize through FanView and start to print cash. But here is what we've noticed after helping hundreds of students build successful AI model businesses. There are two types of people who leave this challenge. Number one, those who will try to piece everything together themselves, spending months testing, failing, usually giving up after getting banned or making no sales because they can't properly prepare and they don't have the right guidance. Or number two, those who decide to work directly with our team to implement our proven systems. And the difference is that it's not knowledge. You've got tons of that in these 3 days, right? You know everything that a beginner needs to know in this industry. It's implementation, speed, and expert guidance. Fact. What we have covered in these 3 days is literally just the tip of the iceberg. So let us show you exactly what working together looks like. So this is the AIM mentorship. Our complete 85 plus module training program that will cover everything about AI models. This is always growing, by the way. We're always adding new lessons as the industry progresses so fast. New AI techniques, new social media marketing techniques, how to avoid getting banned, and how to effectively monetize that content. That's all covered within there and always being updated. The psychology behind high ticket subscribers, and this alone can literally 3x your revenue. Believe me, if you have a couple whales in your account versus your average customer, this is going to give you double the amount of revenue. Our advanced AI generation techniques that create ultra realistic models along with expert AI designers that you have access to ask questions to. Complete monetization frameworks that will turn viewers into buyers. Key. Proven scaling systems that take you from 1K to 10K plus months, and weekly live coaching calls. So twice every week, you will get to work directly with our expert coaches who are actively running six-figure AI model businesses. Myself, our business partner, Toby, and many other coaches within the program as well. And you've seen how much we packed into just these 3 days. So you've had 3 live calls with us. You've seen how much information we're giving away. And imagine what is possible with ongoing expert guidance, because I'm sure you have started your journey. Imagine if you could almost, finish your journey with us, if you like. Pav going from $0 to 30K in 90 days. Mantis hitting 10K with just 5,000 followers. Matty making his first $10,000 in a month. They all started exactly where you are right now. The only difference is that they made the decision to get expert guidance instead of trying to figure it out alone. All right, so that was a very successful, very fun to do 3-day live challenge. And of course, is now come to an end. Of course, this is a few days after the 3-day live challenge has ended. And I just want to thank everyone for attending who did so. And we did, at the end of that challenge, offer everyone who came to the 3 days a special deal on our coaching program. However, that was very much exclusive to the people who committed to those 3 days. And we made that very, very clear at the start that we were going to do that at the end. So if you did miss out, do not panic. We are still running our coaching program. Now, this includes everything that I mentioned beforehand. So that'll be everything from how to make your AI model, how to market them on social media, build them up an audience, all that good stuff. And of course, how then to monetize that content on FanView. Some very, very exciting stuff and a huge future that those students who did decide to join will have ahead of them. I have absolutely no doubt about that. If you do want to join this program, it is still available. However, it is not at the same deal that we were offering to the people who attended those 3 days. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down to the description. You're going to book a call with my team, and you're going to discover exactly how it is we can help you. So hope to see every single one of you in the community, because every single person in there is currently smashing it. Thank you all for watching. This has been an extremely exciting and entertaining process for myself, and hopefully for those who attended as well. And of course, for those of you on YouTube who are watching this live event back. So thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe, keep up with all the latest AI technologies and movements in the AI space, and I'll see you next time.